Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Not a game. We talking about practice.
We thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Decide a different need. I'm coming. I'm flat out coming.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the Sports Report podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. Guys, I am so excited tonight. We got a lot going down. We got some baseball news. We got the NBA playoffs going. Even pro wrestling is at a fever pitch right now. But first, I got to bring this next gentleman on. This is his first time on this show. You can catch him, Coffee and Sports in the Morning, over on Wire to Wire Network. I got to bring my man Mo on. Mo, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Will? Good evening, everybody out there listening. Great to be on, man. I'm excited. Love your intro.
Thank you. You know who made it, right?
I have no idea. Man, Key is a troop. She is no joke.
Yeah. Key,
shout out to Key.
Yeah, she did it up, man. She good job. She did a great job.
Yeah.
All right, and let me bring in my illustrious co-host. Now, this dude knows more about baseball than I will ever know. He is a baseball fanatic. Remember my man 7 and 7. What's up?
Oh, let me get my microphone where you guys can actually hear me. What's up, everybody?
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing all right. Mo, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. I've watched you guys on your coffee morning show, and you guys are doing some great things over there, man. Respect for what you guys are doing. It's a solid show. Everybody should definitely check it out.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your boys on there every Wednesday talking about the NBA. Man, and speaking of the NBA, we're gonna get to that in just a minute. But I'm gonna do a U-turn, a little bit of a U-turn. 7, I want you to go ahead and start with the baseball. So let's go ahead and do our 7th inning stretch. We're gonna do that a little bit right now.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
All right, bro, what you got for baseball?
We have hit the quarter-way mark through the season for Major League Baseball. Dropped this morning from the MLB page the quarter mark power rankings, kind of our first pick at where everybody's at. Just going to pop this up on the screen real quick. Baltimore Orioles, hot young team last season, did some great things. I said they were going to be a force again this year, and they are proving to be such. Down at third, the $800 million team, Los Angeles Dodgers. God damn, I cannot talk today. Los Angeles Dodgers spent $800 million in free agency, getting their roster even more loaded up than it already was. Shout out to half of the 2018 Boston Red Sox World Series team that is currently on the LA Dodgers roster. They are at third. The Orioles and Phillies combined did not spend half of what the Dodgers did in free agency. But something that I called out at the start of the season that people are just finally starting to realize, the Kansas City Royals at 10th on the power rankings are a force to be reckoned with. That is a young team. That farm system in Kansas City is always solid. And you now have, they brought some more veterans in to kind of round out the list a little bit, give them a little bit more veteran experience, because Salvador Perez is, I'm pretty sure, the only player left from the 2015 World Series roster. And they are just lighting it up right now. When we look at their division, to their credit, their division is not exactly the strongest, but the Cleveland Guardians and the Minnesota Twins are the only thing that separates those three teams is a half game. Like they're all, I mean, you might as well consider basically tied. They're right there. And I really hope that people start to take the Kansas City Royals seriously, because I'm not saying they're going to make a World Series run. They'll make the playoffs though. They're going to be a postseason team as long as they stay consistent. Of course, 162 game season, anything can happen. You're only a quarter of the way, but that is a team to watch. One of the things I wanted to talk about in baseball, and this is something that doesn't just apply to baseball, but we also had, along with more regional sports networks going through bankruptcy, we also saw Netflix announce this, or it was announced this week that Netflix is going to be host to the to at least one game on Christmas Day in the NFL season this year.
Wow.
And a lot of people are frustrated because you need all of these streaming services just to watch your sports teams. Y'all need to realize that TV companies like your Dish Network and Cox Communications, Comcast, and all of these different companies, they've been telling everybody since the 70s what was going to happen here. Multiple times throughout the last 50 years, these companies have been called before Congress regarding antitrust concerns because we have all these packages and you can only, if you get this channel, you have to get these other 13 with it. And the cable companies kept saying, if we break everything up, it's going to cost you more. And we are now at the point where if you want to have everything you want to watch, all your streaming services, for the average person, it's going to be $5 to $7. You're paying more than you would pay for your cable bill. The same or more.
Yep.
Okay?
Fact.
Cable companies told us this is what was going to happen, and nobody listened. Everybody started cutting the cord. I worked for Cox Communications when the first big exodus happened and people were walking away from their TV services and switching to online streaming. Those exoduses that have happened over the last 15 years are what has driven up streaming pricing, because they know they can make more money because they got you by the balls now. And then, so that's part of it. The flip side is sporting organizations. This isn't just baseball. Football teams, hockey teams, baseball teams, NBA teams. Every time they go up for renegotiations for TV deals, they want more money. Everybody wants a pay raise. Well, guess what? These are all for-profit companies, so they're going to get their fucking pay raise too. This is only going to keep happening, everybody. You need to just, it is what it is. Unless you don't watch sports at all, which if you don't watch sports at all, you're probably not watching this fucking show. If you don't, I mean, really, unless you don't watch sports at all, you're in the same fucking boat. You are in the same boat that you were in 10 fucking years ago. We have Cubs fans and Royals fans in their local market struggle to be able to see their games.
That's a damn shame.
It's they're not the only ones. It's happened now, and I think Baltimore is dealing with the same problem. With the exception of the biggest markets, like you're not going to see this happen in LA overnight. You're not going to see this happen in Boston or New York City overnight. Like but in any smaller market, and we look at the teams that this is happening to, the Royals, the Orioles, the Cubs. These are all smaller market teams. I'm not saying that the Cubs, who's definitely my second team, I'm not saying that the Cubs are a small market team, one of the most historic franchises in Major League Baseball. But Chicago is a smaller market, especially when you remember the fact that the White Sox are there too, which sometimes you have to remind people in Chicago about. But this is because everybody remember the COVID season, how sports kept going when nobody was in the stands. It's because 70%, depending on the team in the league, the average is around 70% of the money that sports teams make is not from the tickets and concessions. Most of those teams, or most of the teams that had to deal with the COVID season, had, they still made a profit those seasons because of the TV deals and the sponsorship deals. That's guaranteed money. The TV companies didn't get a break in how much they had to pay sports teams during the COVID season. It was still the same dollar amount for every sport. It was the exact same. Nobody took a pay cut. And that is why we are in the situation we are at right now, where if you are a sports fan, you've got to have 5 to 7 streaming services at a minimum. If you're into everything, your wallet is fucked. You might as well just get a second job just to pay for your streaming services. Because that's where it's at. I mean, you got $20 a month for Netflix. You got to have ESPN Plus for a lot of us. That's another 15.
Yep.
Peacock's another 13. I mean, and Paramount Plus another 15. Like, it's,
you didn't even brought up Disney Plus yet.
Exactly. Or Apple TV.
Yep.
Now we just got announced today that starting next season, Roku is going to be like Roku, the actual fucking TV and streaming brand, is going to be hosting Sunday night MLB games. Starting next season.
Man, really?
Because the rumor is that ESPN is not renewing their MLB contract. So you're not going to see as many baseball games on ESPN anymore. No more Sunday night baseball. So
TNT's going through the same thing with basketball.
Yep. The Phoenix Suns. I live in Arizona. The Phoenix Suns. Their games are not on a regional sports network anymore because of Bally Sports Arizona crumbling. Their games are on a local broadcast channel. It's not even it's not even like an actual CBS or NBC. It's a local channel called 3TV. It is owned by the company that owns the CBS station here. But it is a separate network. And they show Suns games. And you can stream them through their app for free if you're in the area. Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, saw what was coming and grabbed it when
I agree, Ando.
Yeah. I mean, and this is where we're at. Pretty soon, we're going to see the schedule on NBA on TNT tighten up. You're not going to see as many games. If it is, it's going to be big market teams playing each other because they want they want the highest number of ratings. We're not going to see baseball on TBS as often anymore. This is only going to get worse. And cable companies were trying to tell us in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, every time they got called up at an antitrust hearing, they kept saying this was going to happen. And everybody kept saying, nah, this ain't going to happen. We'll be able to do what we want. Yeah. Pay the same fucking money to do more steps to watch your shit. That's where it's at.
Damn
it's
shame.
Insane.
Damn shame.
And it's only going to get worse. And really quick, I know we're not going to do an NHL thing. NHL Avs forward Vic Nurechka. I know I fucked up his name. It's Eastern European. There's like 98 letters in his fucking last name. 6-month suspension today, and now in stage 3 of the player assistance program. Because the only thing that's openly understood is it's an addiction issue. Because he's had multiple problems. That's why he's at a later stage. By the way, the NHL player assistance program when dealing with addiction and like abuse issues and stuff like that, fucking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It wasn't the league that did this. It was the Avalanche. The Avalanche made this move. 6-month suspension without pay. He's got to go through a lot. He's got to go through rehab. The common discussion and belief that I've seen on like Twitter and stuff like that is that this is a alcohol and cocaine issue. Somebody got bit by the snooters, and addiction is a real fucking problem. Everybody take that shit seriously. If you know somebody that's struggling, help them and understand that this isn't a 2-week in rehab and the problem's gone. Addiction is a mental health disease. Take it fucking seriously.
Appreciate you, Seven. Appreciate you, Seven. Let me bring on another member of this rowdy crew. Bring my man Ando in. Ando, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'd be better if my computer would freaking cooperate. That's
you got
technology
it going,
for
though.
you. Yeah, finally. It only took, 40 freaking minutes to get started up. I'm going to piggyback off of what Seven said real quick because I am in full agreement. I think everybody's looking to save that dollar. And because everybody's looking to save that dollar, they're now paying the price for it. If you would have just buckled up and said, hey, yeah, sure, the money for cable is going to go up, but we're getting everything that we're included with it, you'd have been fine. But nope, everybody's looking for a way to save pennies, and now we're getting bit in the ass for it.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
By the way, what's up, Mo? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you.
All right, you guys. Anything else you got in the world of MLB before we move on?
Let's see. Fuck Rob Manfred.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm glad I got to hear that.
We appreciate that. We got to get that out there.
That's a requirement of the show.
Fuck him.
By the way, I found out one of the things that the Mariners do at their games when they're their whole games is they will drop hot dogs.
Did you see that? That's amazing, dude.
No, they drop
hot
parachutes into the crowd. Just I think it's like in the 7th inning or something like that.
Yeah.
They just
hot dogs from heaven.
Oh, that's cool.
Hot dogs from heaven is what they call it.
Hot dogs
That's
from
cool.
heaven.
Love it.
Some dope ass shit for sure.
Next up, this gentleman here is the CEO of Walmart and Trailer Parks, and he still wishes that Mike Tomlin will come back and coach the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Remember my man Dan here. Dan, what's up, bro?
Matt Rule's got me on a different train on that one, guys. He's doing.
He got you on a different train.
Yeah. Tomlin's Tomlin might be for the future. Tomlin might do the twilight of his career there. It seems like a Tomlin twilight type of thing.
Oh man. All right, you guys. This is going to be a heavy NBA show. We got a lot going on. I got a question I want all of y'all to think about before we start talking about the games. We have no Steph, we have no LeBron, we have no KD, but I want to ask you guys, even without them, and I'll get your answer later, are you enjoying the NBA playoffs? Even without the main stars that we look for, are you still enjoying these playoffs? So I'll come back to everybody and get an answer later, but let's go ahead and get started with the hardwood. All right, you guys. The thing I'm going to ask, and I'm going to go around the room real quick. This Minnesota-Denver series, I originally said Denver needs to be careful in this series. Minnesota's a good team. They can match up with them somewhat size-wise. Maybe not depth-wise, but size-wise, they can match up with them. And I'm going to go to Mo. Mo, if this thing going all 7?
Oh, I think it's going 7.
I
had it going 7. When you look at the way that the Timberwolves can match up, when they have Towns guarding the Joker and using Gobert as a weak side defender, that's the best way to defend him. It's the best way to defend him because you can disrupt him. The problem that happened the other night is, though, Minnesota wasn't hitting shots. Other than Ant, nobody was hitting shots. And the man gives you over 40-something points. He just needs one guy to come along with him. I'll say this, the key for the Timberwolves to win this series, it's not Ant. Ant's going to be Ant. It's what version of Karl Anthony Towns shows up. It really comes down to that. If Towns is going to be the all-star Towns that gives you 20 and 10, and he makes smart decisions in late-game situations, you're going to be okay. If he's going to be the guy you've seen the last 2 games, they're in trouble.
Dan, what you think? You think this going all 7?
Yeah, I agree with Mo. Just mentality-wise, Anthony Edwards seems like the only one that legitimately shows up every night at this point. Karl Anthony Towns has disappeared his entire career. Kind of, he does this every once in a while, right? I mean, if they needed to depend on Cat for like anything as far as consistency goes, that was not a good start in this series. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their defense has amazed me. I didn't watch a whole ton of Minnesota during the regular season, honestly, because they weren't. But Anthony Edwards, obviously, like he's going to bring it every night. But their defense is awesome. Nas Reed, those guys are, they put it together really well. So, and Joker's such a weird dude because you can't really defend him in any way. Am I right, Mo? Like you can't. He just figures it out. Like he's a big version kind of Luka. It's the same style of play, sort of. But it's just like they just kind of seem to figure it out. They play at their own pace. It's very strange. It almost reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. Remember when Le'Veon Bell was doing Le'Veon Bell figured out that he could just sit behind the blocks And you're like, oh, I can just be patient. I don't have to like go and cut one cut and go. I can kind of wait. I feel like that's what Joker and Luka have figured out on like a larger scale. They figured out like oh, I can just be patient. I don't have to go like a million miles an hour because they're not going to win that. They know that they're not going to match up athletically. They're not. They're great athletes, but they're not upper echelon athletes in the NBA. So, but yeah.
7, what you think? You think he's going to go all 7?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have already said it. This is a 7-game series, and it's I think honestly, I think it's going to come down to Joker for Denver, and and on the other side, it's going to come down to what you get out of Cat.
I think it might come down to Jamal Murray too. Jamal Murray is such a wild card. I think he's so much more reliable. I think he's so much more reliable than Karl Anthony Towns is, though. Honestly, I think he's more reliable than I think he's been there the whole time. I think that he sort of disappears, but it's like just a consistency that he is consistent. He shows flashes more than Cat does, I think.
Right.
Right. And then Aaron Gordon, dude. Aaron Gordon's one of my favorite players in the NBA at this point. I think like he's like an uber athletic Antoine Jameson is what he reminds me of. Like he just rebounds, plays defense, like he just like gets opportune buckets, takes oops, and like he's the perfect like he's kind of a wild card too. Like I like Aaron Gordon for I think that might be the difference for the Nuggets. I hope the fucking Nuggets don't win. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. I hope they don't. Honestly, I don't like the fucking 3. Let's give Joker 3 fucking MVPs. Really, I hate. I don't mean to start this, guys. But
I agree with you,
LeBron
Dan.
James.
Yep.
We can't give LeBron James 3 fucking straight MVPs from like what 10 to 13. But no Joker though. He should get. What the fuck are we doing right now?
I'm gonna argue. I think Luka should have got it this year.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Luka played better. I think Luka is that much more important to Dallas than Denver because you said it yourself. There's Gordon and there's Jamal Murray. Besides Kyrie, who else does Dallas have? It's just Luka, and Luka is the heart and soul of that Dallas team.
But Kyrie's better than the Joker has.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but team wise,
I myself wouldn't go with the SGA, but that's what you.
I think it's going to go 7 as well. And I'm actually in the same boat. I want to see Minnesota beat Denver, not because I don't want to see Denver advance again, but I think Minnesota fundamentally has the better team. I think they quietly played better than Minnesota did this, or they quietly played better than Denver this year. I think. And Anthony Edwards played solid ball. Comes down to winning the season by far. I think people are nuts if they say that nobody is playing better than Anthony Towns and Edwards. I'm just gonna say Edwards. Screw it. Edwards is playing better than anybody right now in this playoff.
Great.
Luka, but I mean Edwards is playing at a completely different level. I think it'll go 7. And like I said, I want to see Minnesota take it. If Minnesota takes all 4 road games, I'm down for that.
And Will, real quick, Will, on the MVP thing. I don't care. I like your SGA pick too. Like I'll take Luka or SGA. If we're just going to agree though that we can't give one guy the MVP every year because that's been an agreed upon thing with those guys. Like they were like, no, we can't give it to one guy every year. It gets boring. It's like you're doing it now. Like you just did it.
Yeah.
Like if it's everybody else doesn't get it every year, then you can't give it to Jokic every year. Like give it to somebody else. Like that's what you guys agreed on doing. Like if he is the MVP, I think we would all agree that like the most valuable player should win the most valuable player award, right? But that's not how they've done it. They've done it like, oh well, we can't just give it to LeBron, or we can't give it to we can't give it to Patrick Mahomes in the NFL every year. Like we have to switch it up. And it's like, maybe just give it to the most valuable player. Just saying. Like, but
I 7 and I would be okay giving it to Patrick Mahomes if Patrick Mahomes deserves it.
That's the key.
If he deserves it.
Dude, if Patrick Mahomes throws 45 touchdowns and 5,000 yards every year, give it to him if nobody else is worthy of it.
I think you're going to be hard pressed for the next 10 years to find a year where Patrick Mahomes is not the best player in the NFL. I don't think there's going to be for the next 10 years. I think it's going to be tough to find a year where he's not the best player in the NFL. So they're not going to give it to him 10 straight years. Okay.
No.
Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you've already agreed on that thing, we're not going to give it to the same guy every time. Then stop giving it to the fucking same guy every time.
Lamar Jackson won it this last year, right?
Yeah.
I think anybody could have argued that Justin Jefferson made a really good point to make MVP this year. But because he's not the quarterback or the leader of the team. I remember when every position had an opportunity to win MVP. Now it's just a quarterback stat.
Yeah, rules have changed that into,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they've changed it into like that's just, it's so pivotal that the quarterback has so much control of it. It's like,
I mean, what between Tyreek and Justin Jefferson, you could have made the argument that either one of those receivers could have had it this year.
for sure.
Yeah. Let me go back to Mo for real quick, and I'll come back to you guys. I want to ask you a question, Mo. Is it fair to continue to compare Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan? Is that fair?
I think there's some similarities, but I don't think it's fair. He's so early into his career. I think I like the answer that he gave when he was asked the question. He said, I'm not like Michael Jordan. I'm the first Anthony Edwards. He's going to do his own thing. They're similar, but they're not the same. Kobe and Jordan were nearly the same. Anthony Edwards at 22 already shoots the 3-ball better than Jordan ever did. So he's already a different player from that standpoint. And he's about 25 pounds bigger than Michael Jordan. So I think on his own, Anthony Edwards can stand on his own. The comparisons I get, but I think he's going to be a completely different player as his career plays out.
Dan, what you thinking? Is it a fair comparison?
Yeah, Mo, that's crazy. Like I know I agree with him. It is unfair to Anthony Edwards. Honestly, he hasn't won anything yet, so you really can't. I mean, obviously, let's not start. I get why it is. It's the game, obviously. Like it's the way that they play. They're killers in the mid range. They do the whole they do a lot of like just go get it, go get you a bucket, like that kind of thing, that mentality. I get why they do it. Like it's a compliment to Anthony Edwards, obviously. But like you said, dude, he's bigger than not taller, but he's thicker than Michael Jordan was at that age for sure. And I think he's actually a little bit more explosive, which is crazy. Which is crazy, right?
I agree.
Because
I agree with that.
He's a little bit more explosive, and he's just you can't. But is he going to have the same demeanor in the end of games for the 10 years, the 12 years that Michael Jordan did it every single year? You can't just start doing that. I get why they're comparing him. It is because of the similarities in the game. As long as we don't take it into oh yeah, he's going to get 6 rings. He's going to be 6. No, it's not. Let's not start doing that. That's unfair to that guy. He's not he's never going to live up to that. There's never a way you do that. So yeah. So I get the similarities in the game, but yeah, it's not.
Seven, what you thinking? Is it a fair comparison or no?
No, but and honestly, I'm so sick and damn tired of players getting compared to past generations.
Yeah.
Because let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Jason Tatum is 3rd in playoff scoring for the Boston Celtics for their franchise all time. There's only 2 players ahead of him, and obviously the one that's a number 1 is Larry Bird.
Yep.
He's played in a stupid amount of playoff games too.
It's stupid. Yeah, it's stupid. Okay. So because he's 3rd for the Celtics in playoff scoring, are we going to say it's fair to compare Jason Tatum to Larry fucking Bird? No. Nobody's going to be stupid enough to try and do that.
Wait a second.
Compare? But here's the thing. You can respect these players and recognize the similarities in the game without throwing guys under the bus. Because how many times have we said this guy's the next Jordan, this guy's the next Tom Brady, this guy's the next whoever the fucking greatest of that sport is at the time. And then their career falls flat partially or mostly by the weight of the expectations that are on them and their inability to remove the distractions and actually focus on playing like them because they are under so much pressure to play like whoever the fuck the GOAT is for that moment.
Right.
Tony,
it is not fair to any of these guys. It's not reasonable. Why are we comparing Jordan and LeBron, the age-old fucking debate? They don't even play the same goddamn position.
That's what I've been saying.
What the fuck? I don't.
That's what I've been saying.
That's a weird thing though, because if you're going GOAT, you have to do that because it doesn't matter, right? So you only have 2 guys. So if they don't play the same position,
but
you
Bill
got to do
Russell
it.
has 11 rings. Nobody mentions a thing about Bill Russell.
Yeah, he played against guys who had day jobs though.
It took this long for anybody to touch Kareem's scoring record. Took this long for anybody to touch Kareem's scoring record, and it was purely because of the longevity that LeBron James has because of how he takes care of his body. I'm not saying that LeBron James isn't talented.
Well, I would hope not.
And he scored he earned every single one of those fucking points he scored.
Yep.
But it is that is a longevity award, but nobody throws Kareem into the GOAT discussion.
Nobody throws Larry Bird.
I gotta disagree.
Top five.
Because I have a family member who does it Now, granted, when you go back that far,
Some people
you're talking of his era.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of old heads out there that will put Kareem in that number one spot.
Or there's old heads that'll put Bill Russell. I work with a guy that played in that era. I work with a guy. His name is Jeff Cook. He played on the Suns. He was
Still alive?
Yeah, hold on, 7. Dan, you're right. That sounds like a dentist name. Dave Cook. Yep, total dentist name. Basketball on the side.
It's in his name.
Dude, he was working this construction job and then showing up at the Forum at 7 p.m. to like play basketball. Did you score a lot of points, Bill Russell? Did you? Was your guy guarding a little bit tired? Was he a 6'4" white guy? Yeah, gotcha. Okay, sorry. That's why you're not the GOAT. Gotcha.
Jeff played against Jeff in his career because he was drafted by the Kansas City. It was the Kings, right? When it was
the Kings before they went to Sacramento.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was Kansas City Kings.
Yes.
Yeah, the Kansas City Kings was in one of the last draft classes of the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Bounced around the league a bit. He wrapped up his career with the Suns. He played against Jordan. He played against Bill Russell. He, having played against both of them, will look you in the eye and tell you that Bill Russell is the GOAT.
How do you?
A lot of people do. A lot of these old heads do.
But
you could.
We're comparing different eras, different positions, and I can't remember. I can't remember what Anthony Edwards his position is. I can't remember.
He's a shooting guard. He's a shooting guard.
Why are we wasting our time on this? Let's like comparing a wide receiver and a defensive end. Like they're held to different standards for their role.
Yeah. Well, Edwards
and
Jordan played the
same at that time.
Yeah, Edwards and Jordan played the same position. But and I'm gonna say a name that I know Mo and Dan knows, and it backs up Seven's point. Do you guys remember Harold Miner?
Yeah,
Baby Jordan.
They called him Baby Jordan.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Didn't Miner play for the Heat?
Expectations piled on top of him.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
He cracked because nobody wants that. That's unfair.
No.
Nobody wants that.
I think Edwards is playing this right. Don't be lulled into, oh God, yeah, I'm the next Jordan. No, Anthony Edwards is playing this perfectly right. As much as I respect the comparisons to Jordan, he's a great basketball player. I think everybody will throw Jordan in the top 2, top 3, top 4 of their greatest. But he's doing this right? Let me focus on me. Let me do what I do. I haven't won an MVP. My team just got to the playoffs for the first time in God knows how long. Let me do me. Let me focus on my game. And then when everything is said and done, we'll talk. But I think Edwards is playing this right.
Now, do we agree with Kenny Smith's analogy the other night when he compared Anthony Edwards to a young D Wade?
That's what I was going to say, actually. And I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that Kenny Smith thing.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was going to say D Wade. He's more explosive than D Wade was.
I would, yeah.
And bigger.
Yeah.
And bigger.
Yeah.
But the game is very similar. It is. It's literally like D Wade on steroids. Right. That's what it seems like. It's he's like just kind of a more bouncy version. Like that's kind of what I was thinking. The game is very similar, obviously.
Like, Edwards isn't afraid to get up in the air where Wade was like, okay, I'll only get up in the air if I got the open lane. Edwards isn't afraid to take the contact getting up into the lane.
D-Wade was so good at taking fouls, dude. Like D-Wade would get up in the air to get fouled and get an AM1. Like he would, he was kind of like just like scoop layups and shit. Like he was really good at it. And Ant is just taking it at people. Ant ain't scoop layup and shit. Ant is fucking throwing that shit as hard as he can.
Yep.
And I love it. Like that's awesome. That's a way to do it too. But ironically, I was going to say though, guys, like the whole thing with like Ant saying that he's Anthony Edwards, that's how all of them think, dude. You don't get to that level without thinking like that. Like they don't like Anthony Edwards isn't like sitting going, you know what? I'm gonna be the next Jordan. It's like, no, he doesn't give a fuck about that, dude. Like he's just Anthony Edwards. Like that's how they think. Like they have to. That's why they're at that level. Like, Kobe was asked about it. Kobe said the same thing. Kobe was like, I think I'm just like, my own player. Like, yes, I played like him, I guess, but like they can't think like that. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna be Jordan.
Oh yeah, for
the same thing for Jordan.
So you don't think Matt Rule is thinking to himself that he's going to be the next Tom Osborne?
No, God no. You don't want to be a governor.
Osborne won some national championships at Nebraska, man. Just saying.
You don't want to be a senator, bro. We put Osborne. Osborne's that skeleton is still walking around, guys. That guy might just be robotics, like just lights and clockwork.
Man, Tommy Frazier's still around.
I shook his hand one time. It literally felt like I was shaking like one of those biology class skeleton hands.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like some paper mache skin over top of it. It was sort of gross. But
So
it was
what you're
also
saying is as you were shaking your hand, you pulled some skin off his wrist. That's what you did?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Okay.
I got some of the cells, but like it was
DNA here,
DNA,
Mr.
here
Osborne.
you go.
it was him and Johnny Rogers. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Like they were just walking through the crowd, but like, yeah, he looks like a skeleton. Anyway. Yeah, he's still,
All right, let me go.
still in Senate.
Let me go and ask you guys this. And well, again, I'm coming back to you once again. The Phoenix Suns have a new coach. Do you think that Coach Bud can figure out what the hell is going wrong with the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, he's got a bad GM. James Jones don't know what the hell he's doing, so you can start there. The roster construction is terrible, and unless they're actually going to make some major moves and get a couple of those guys out of there, you're going to leave Coach Bud with the same team that got old boy out of there. Coach Bud's going to get fired too. He's going to get fired too. Like, if they're bringing back that same core, you're going to get the same results. I think you have to recognize, the most valuable guy on there, if you're going to try to move him, is Kevin Durant. But it would be smart on Phoenix's part to move him. KD's going to be 36 next year. 36 with a brittle body. And as gifted as he is showing signs of age. This particular playoff run, I don't know why it is, but the referees are allowing more contact than I've seen in years. And when they allow that kind of physicality, it changes everything about Kevin Durant's game because he doesn't handle it very well. He doesn't. And I just think going forward, if you're going to give Coach Bud a real chance, go out, move KD, bring in some functioning pieces, get a point guard. Start off with that. Get a point guard. Somebody that can run. Somebody that can actually run your offense, get everybody in their sets, and then go from there. But I mean, really make real changes to give Coach Bud a legit chance to be successful. Don't set him up for failure. That's all I'm saying, because I thought it was interesting that James Jones put this team together. The young owner was very upset. I think he had one of those conversations where it was, you can fire somebody or I can fire you. And James Jones fired Frank Vogel.
Can I just say, I think Frank Vogel is a damn good coach with what he did in Indiana. And
I agree.
I bubble title with LA. But I mean, I've always liked Frank Vogel. I thought Frank Vogel was always a hard hitting coach.
So, Ando, I think Frank Vogel's thing is that he's X's and O's wise, he's really good. Defensively, he's really good. He just doesn't do the managing egos part of the whole thing, which I think is a little bit more of the job, right? So, like the players all automatically just end up thinking that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, even though he does, because he doesn't do the whole like, gotta kiss up to this guy over here and like play all these egos and stuff. He's not good at it, and it sucks. Like he'd be a great assistant coach in the NBA, and I think he's X's and O's wise, he's great. But like I think that's kind of his Achilles
Which
heel.
is why he did such a good job with the Indiana Pacers when he started coaching, because at the time Paul George didn't have that big ego that he had.
Young teams, that just need the X's and O's and don't have the huge egos yet. Like he goes to, he doesn't succeed in LA. Obviously, LeBron James is the head coach of that team. I don't know why they're not just announcing it already. That needs to be the fucking case. That LeBron James is player coach. That it just needs to happen because like it's
LeBron been a player coach for most of his career
for like 10 years.
Might as well have been, right?
Spolstra was his last head coach. Eric Spolstra was his last head coach.
True.
Like so, yeah, that's been 10 years at least. So like, but
7
with the Suns though. Sorry, with the Suns though, real quick.
Go ahead.
KD needs to go, as they would call it in farming. KD needs to go out to stud. They need to be renting him out to all the teams that just need to shoot. Like they need to score, and like he's not trying to build shit. He like most days 36, dude. He's not trying to get into a franchise and build it and everything. Like he needs to go make some money and just be a fucking killer like he is, and just do it on rent. Like just be a hired gun, be a mafia guy.
Yeah.
7, what you thinking about your Suns? Do you think that Budenholzer can get him to get him to the promised land?
The benefit of hiring Coach Rabble Rouser is that he does have
Budenholzer.
He does have NBA Finals experience.
Yep.
On the surface, on paper, this should be a Western Conference Finals team. Obviously, we know in practice, these guys, for some reason, it's like oil and water. Something is not mixing. So I do agree that you need to go ahead and move off of KD. And to echo what Mo said, you need to get a real point guard.
Yep.
And here's
Bradley Beal ain't it.
No, he's not. And here's the other thing I'm going to say. There is a standard for a point guard in Phoenix. I don't know that people forget that arguably two of the best point guards in recent memory played for the Phoenix Suns.
Can I guess Steve Nash and Chris Paul?
Three, right? Because Chris Paul. You got Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, and Chris Paul.
I forgot about Jason Kidd.
So
you guys had KJ too.
Yeah.
KJ7.
You've got there is a standard in Phoenix of the point guard position. And I think that Matt Ishbia knows the game of basketball because he played it before he became a mortgage bro. And he also has a deep understanding of business because he
running
is
an NBA team.
He's not just running an NBA team. He built the biggest mortgage company in the country.
He's got fucking
United Wholesale Mortgage. Like that company, you can throw a rock and hit 5 people whose mortgage is underwritten by United Wholesale Mortgage.
A lot of stuff.
That's there is a lot of knowledge there. But you also look at the fact that the Suns are kind of in the same position as the Lakers.
Yeah.
They ain't got shit for picks for the next 5 fucking years.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so you have to move off of KD and Bradley Beal.
And Bradley Beal.
Definitely.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Because I was kind of weirded out there. I was like, are we just saying KD because they have the exact same player? Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are the same player. It's really weird. They kind of do the same stuff. You don't need Bradley
Beal.
Okay.
You don't.
So you're
moved off of, you get rid of DeAndre Ayton because he's not playing physical.
Should have done that.
Which
would have been really nice to have against Minnesota.
He would have been nice to have against Minnesota. The reason we moved off of DeAndre Ayton is because of his lack of physicality down in the post.
Do you think that Frank Vogel could have given him some physicality or been like, hey bro, you need to get more physical, get tough down in the paint? Would Vogel have done something like that?
No, because he doesn't even have it now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but for all of the talent that DeAndre Ayton has, if you're going to use him as a big, there has to be some physicality in that in that person.
Yes.
He is a fucking teddy bear. Nicest guy. The one Suns jersey I have is DeAndre Ayton. Love the guy. He is not physical enough to be a big.
At 7, I'm gonna joke.
Hold on. And your solution when you replace him was Yusef Nurkic?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
They replaced a teddy bear with another teddy bear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A teddy bear with a bunny rabbit.
Hey,
no,
Seven,
I was gonna joke with you.
Yep.
I was gonna joke with you and say Ayton's that guy who's in the paint who's getting backed down by Karl Anthony Towns and he gets like, you know what, man? Just take the bucket, dude. I don't want to get just take it, man. I don't want to get hit.
This is what I don't understand about the Suns. And this is my frustration as a Suns fan.
Yeah.
You get talented players, but you don't actually build a roster.
Yeah.
You don't put any cohesiveness into what you're doing.
It's like you're playing NBA 2K thinking, oh, hey, I have 3 players who are over 90. We're going to make it to the NBA. No, you got to have, you said it right. You got to have you got to have cohesion, and you got to have the, shit, what's the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue too. You got to be able to have that
the camaraderie or the, I know what you're talking about.
There's a specific word I'm looking for, but they don't have it. And I'm absolutely agreeing. I don't think this is just a KD problem. This is the KD and Beal. I don't see the Suns.
No, it's not just KD.
Yeah, no, I don't see the Suns getting rid of Booker. I think this is Booker's team. If you play smart, if you play this smart, you may not get a lottery first-round pick, but you can get 2 late first-round. Like Atlanta could be a good. Atlanta is a good spot for KD to go to because you have Trae Young, you have John Collins.
Well, Trae Young gone.
They're getting rid of him. He's not going to be there next year.
I think he's
gone. You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I honestly, I could see Ishbia trading KD for Trae Young.
That'd be a solid trade. Would be KD for. You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that would be a horrible trade.
Okay.
Yeah, that's terrible.
No, it wouldn't. But I could see Matt Ishbia doing it after what he did with DeAndre Ayton and Yusuf Nurkic.
But are we, guys? I think we're just saying they should get rid of Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. I doubt they get rid of fucking Beal.
No,
and I doubt they get rid of Beal and
mean,
Durant. Though they're going to keep one of them.
Right
because they have nothing. At that point, they have nothing else.
They have to.
Devin Booker running the team.
Okay. So then
how'd that go for him?
I mean, Seven said it best. Beal and Booker are the same players. So if you're going, you have to get rid of Beal or Booker. You're not getting rid of Booker. You get rid of Beal. Can Booker and Durant play on the same team?
Yeah, for sure.
I think they can, but you still need a point guard.
I agree.
Right. And you're not going to get enough out of trading Bradley Beal to get
That's why you got to move.
point guard.
Yeah, right. That's why you move Durant.
Yep.
I know that Mo knows this. I know that Mo knows this, but DeAndre Ayton probably had a nice little season with the Los Angeles Lakers AAA affiliate, Portland Trailblazers. Had a pretty good little year, man. He had he averaged 17, 11, and 2 blocks. Fuck.
But see, that's the thing that pisses you off, though. He's been in the league for how long? And hasn't developed his game to be better?
Bro, I'm the biggest DeAndre Ayton defender ever.
Come on, man.
I don't
bigger than LeBron?
He should be 22 points a game, 12 rebounds.
Yeah,
every game.
at least 12, if not 13 rebounds.
He's
Yeah.
a modern center. He doesn't shy away from contact. Like it's not like he's like, like he doesn't do that.
But here's the thing.
Man.
He doesn't have to be physical in Portland because nobody gives a fuck about Portland.
Exactly.
I haven't cared about Portland since
He can stay out there and shoot jumpers he can stay out there and shoot mid-range jumpers all day. They don't care about Portland.
No.
Who's playing hard against Portland? Like,
are you saying that Scoot Henderson and Evan Fournier aren't striking fear in the hearts of
sorry, did you say Evan Fournier?
Scoot Henderson
and did you say Evan
the
Fournier?
legend Evan Fournier?
Dude, I'm not scared, bro. Scoot Henderson, yeah, I may be a little intimidated, but it's Evan Fournier, man. Come on.
Bro.
Don't do that to Scoot, man. Scoot deserves better, man. Come on now. Don't do that to my man, Scoot.
I think Will and I might be able to beat like one of them in a pickup game. Will, do you think we could beat one? Like if it was 2-on-1?
I think we can beat one.
We could probably be like what Scoot because he's like smaller. He's such a freak, dude. He's gonna. I mean, it's gonna be really close if we beat him. Like he's gonna. I think 11-10. But still, like we might be able to like edge one out.
Yeah, we can get one out. We can get one.
2-on-1.
2-on-1. We get one.
We just spread the floor and get some open shots. Like hopefully we can hit them. So, like but that's not good. You know that we can beat one of them. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me go into another series I do want to talk about. The Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks, we're tied up at 2 in this series. Mo, how do you see this thing finishing up?
I think this is another 7-game series. Maybe in a lot of ways, the best thing happening to the Knicks was getting destroyed the other night by the Pacers. Look, if you're going to lose, getting blown out and embarrassed might be the best way to go because it'll turn around and have you like the Knicks already usually outwork you. Now they're going to come back game 6 angry, mad, embarrassed. I think the Knicks going to return the favor in game 6 and we're going to go to a game 7.
I think it'll be, isn't it game 5, Mo? I think it's only game 5 because game 4 just happened.
Is it game 4?
Yeah, last night was game 4.
It'd be game 5. Yeah.
Game 5. Okay.
So I
But
think
still.
so then it's about the split, right? So because Indiana's now in command, or are they tied?
No, it's 2-2. The series tied.
I think it's 2-2 because everybody won at home, right?
Yep,
it was 2. Yep. New York took the first 2, and then Indiana took the last 2 at home.
Yeah. Yep. And so what hurts the Knicks, obviously, losing OG Anunoby is a big loss because he's not just their best defender. He was also a guy that could get you buckets. He's not coming back. Mitchell Robinson's not coming back.
Nope.
So you are going to have to play Josh Hart, Brunson, DiVincenzo 40+ minutes a game. And look, I know people kill Tom Thibodeau for his coaching style, but that's been his coaching style from the jump.
Yeah, me and Angel kill him.
I'm going to acknowledge that he's a good coach, but his coaching style has a ceiling. I don't think you can win a title with that coaching style. I expect Brunson to have a big game. He'll come back. He'll probably go for 35 or 40. I think they take the lead. This is a 7-game series. It's a home-and-home series. What I'm curious about is when we get to game 7, are the Pacers going to buckle under the pressure of being at home? Because I think You know what I'm saying? I think they would actually be better on a away in a game 7. I think they'll buckle under the pressure being at home.
They are.
Yeah,
correct?
Mo will be
yeah,
play. Yeah, Indiana is the lower seed in that
Oh,
series.
you were
so they are
100%
playing
correct.
at New York.
Because you were correct.
If this does go to game 7, it'll be at the Garden.
So the next game is at the Garden. So it's dude, you thought the Knicks were going to win on the road, bro. You're completely correct. Like they're gonna win game 5 for sure because like they're at home and like Indiana does play well on the road. Indiana loves the fucking dude. Indiana loves the silent crowd and them just yelling shit at the crowd and stuff. Like that's what they love. It's I love it too. I'm a fan. But, like like that's it's the best thing for them. And like they don't want the expectations, I guess. Like they want to be underdogs. That's the whole thing. And like Tyrese Halliburton, that's his whole thing. Like they, you know, like where did Tyrese Halliburton go to college?
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Look at that. Like that dude's been punching from behind the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of his thing.
I will agree. I think this goes to 7 as well. But I believe if this goes to 7, it's the same thing I said last week about OKC and Dallas. That I think, with New York being just banged up as they are, and then Mo said it best with Thibodeau and his aggressive coaching style. Indiana, I think, will be well rested and just kind of, hey, we have more players on the bench. We'll be good to go. We're deeper. And even if they don't get into that depth, Brunson is going to run himself so tired. I think the next 2 games, Brunson scores 35 to 38, and then in the game in Indiana, he's going to score 40, and they're still going to lose in Indiana. Then that's going to put so much pressure on Brunson to be like, guys, I need help. And sure, Hart's played okay in this series. Vincenzo has played okay in the series, but without OG, you don't have that dependable second scorer. Whereas Indiana, besides Halliburton, who's their primary threat? Everybody plays at that. Okay, I'm not making shots. It's your turn. Oh, you're going to make the shots. That's cool. Hey, I got the shot. Indiana has that ability to pull the ball around and get the other guys involved. And I think that if it goes to 7, benefits Indiana over New York.
I feel that I think Indiana's the better team. But I think the Knicks are a little bit, they do the small stuff. They go out there and do the small stuff. They work hard. They go out there and do the dirty stuff to win. But yeah, I think Indiana's the better team with all the injuries the Knicks have. Most favorite player, Julius Randle.
Yeah.
If he were playing, they wouldn't have got out the first round. They're so much better without that guy.
Are you saying Dante DiVincenzo and the legend Josh Hart don't strike fear in the hearts of NFL intermediate defenses? Is that what you're saying?
Not the Indiana Pacers.
Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo are legends. Those guys are.
They don't. Here's the crazy thing, though. In the regular season, DiVincenzo 15 points a game, Josh Hart 9 points a game. In this series, with the exception of the other night, they were combining for 48 points a game. That's why Rick Carlisle was going crazy. He was like, I can accept Brunson getting his. He didn't understand how 2 guys in the regular season that combined for about 24 points was giving you 48 points. It was driving him crazy.
No, they're role players,
crazy.
right? Like they're role players.
Right.
Like, they're not supposed to get these roles.
But
like,
the Knicks are a gritty team. They're a gritty team, and they're doing the small dirty stuff.
They have more dogs than the Pacers do. They got more dogs.
They do.
First things first, I'm looking at the box score from Sunday's game, the one where Indiana won 121-89. So basically, coast to coast, Indiana won that game. The New York Knicks starters combined for 39 points. That means your bench scored more points than your starting lineup combined. Now, granted, the 2 people that scored that had the most minutes on the Knicks were DiVincenzo and Brunson. Brunson played 31 minutes. DiVincenzo played 32. But Brunson was 6 of 17, only had 18 points, and missed all 5 of his 3-pointers. DiVincenzo was 3 of 13.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm going to be scared of a guy that shoots 3 of 13.
And on the Pacers side, what you were talking about, the Pacers, they're split up like that with the bench points because of how they play.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton is just like he's a straight distributing, like awesome 6'8" point guard. That guy's a really unique player. And it's like that's why their bench scores more though, because like he just like distributes the whole time. Like anybody who's on the floor, that's who he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he's he's a pass first guy. Like he gets everybody involved in shit. So like that's I'm just making that note.
And I mean, look, exactly the assist numbers. The Knicks had a total of 15 assists, and the Pacers had 31. The Pacers assist leader for Game 4 was TJ McConnell with 10. He was the only one that had double digits. But you look at the starting lineup for the Pacers. Halliburton had 5. Nembhard had 5. Turner had 2. I mean, it's just I like the way Indiana plays basketball more than the Knicks. Now, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy. I think the NBA playoffs are more exciting when you have the New York Knicks in them. But I think, with the injuries that the Knicks have coming into this series and who they've had now injured in the series, I just think the Pacers are the better team to win.
I think that if you look at the Knicks, though, it's kind of strange, even though they're the higher seed, that this will be that tough a series.
Yeah. They feel like the underdogs.
Right, but the Knicks literally only have one shot creator on their entire roster. One shot creator. That's Brunson. Everybody else, they feed off of what Brunson does. DiVincenzo's not going to break you down off the dribble.
No.
Josh Hart's not going to break you down off the dribble. They literally have one shot creator. And you would think that if you blitzed him and took the ball out of his hands, you would be able to slow down their offense. But Carlisle refuses to blitz him, not until late in games. Or when he puts TJ McConnell on him, because McConnell's the only guy in the Pacers that gets up in his grill.
He's not afraid to play defense.
Him and Neesmith are physical with Brunson. Those are good matchups for Indiana when they play Brunson. I just think that you look at the depth of the Pacers. At some point, I think that's gonna be the difference in this series. It'll go 7, but I think the Pacers' depth, the way they play with pace, I think that'll decide the series.
7. What you thinking?
I will say first, I want the Pacers to win just because anything that causes Stephen A. Smith pain brings me joy.
And I think we all can agree that we can say, fuck James Dolan. Worst NBA
unmitigated goal.
Unmitigated
goal.
But for me, like I'm going to echo something that Ando said. I like watching the Pacers play. Like the distribution, it's definitely almost more of an older style. You could almost say
like
really
it's the Jazz. It's watching the Jazz play basketball all over again.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Good comparison.
I don't think anybody in this. I don't think anybody on the show today will disagree that the Jazz with Stockton and Malone were a bad team to watch.
They did a lot of ISO stuff though. You know what I'm saying? It was like a lot of pick and roll. It was pick and roll the whole time. Pick and roll. It was just true pick and roll. The Pacers do a weird all of them can shoot. Right, all of them run the floor. All of them are about the same size. They play like fucking dudes 6'5" to 6'9" all the time. That's always what's on the floor basically. Well, obviously Miles Turner's, but that's so. But yeah, that's their. And it's kind of everybody spread it out and shoot it. But I get what you're saying. Yes, absolutely. With Jeff Hornacek, bro. Jeff Hornacek.
If it goes to Game 7, I would put my money on the Pacers because if there's one thing that you can bet on in basketball, it's that the Knicks will fuck up a good thing.
Yeah. And they can feel like underdogs all they want, but nobody's out underdogging the Pacers, dude. They're just they just want it to be that they're just gonna do it. No matter what, they could be the number 1 seed. They're like, no.
Oh my goodness. 2 more games. 2 more games, and we'll wrap this puppy up. Went down tonight. Boston defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 109-102. Mo, are you beginning to have more faith in the Boston Celtics or no?
No, I feel the way I felt all year long. They deserve to be the favorites, but I don't think they're a lock. I think ultimately your best player sets the tone for what you are and what you aren't in tight situations. Jason Tatum on talent is a dog. On talent, he's probably one of the 3 most talented players in the league. I don't know if he's that guy. I know he has that guy. He has that guy talent. I don't know if he's that guy. I'll tell you this much. Jaylen Brown, if Jason Tatum had Jaylen Brown's the way Jaylen Brown approaches the game, if he was a dog like Jaylen Brown, he'd be unstoppable. My concern with Tatum is just sometimes he just drifts, and it'll be a late game situation. They'll be in the penalty, and rather than attack the basket and get fouled and go to the free throw line, he does a tough step back. I don't understand why he does that. The shot selection in close games, I just don't understand that. It's a mentality. I think, like I said, talent-wise, he's a superstar. I'm just not convinced he's that guy.
As my high school coach would say, Mo, he's got a lot of quit in him.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum got a lot of
that's my
quitting him,
line.
dude.
That's my line. Yeah.
Is it really?
my
Oh,
line.
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's what I has. Yeah, but like he's got a lot of quitting him. He does. It's just like hey man, it's like he's a sheep. He's a sheep and wolf, and you know what I'm saying? Like he's a sheep and wolf.
He doesn't have that dog in him, is what you're saying.
Like, yeah,
He
like,
doesn't.
it's very strange. His
No.
talent.
And he got
like,
no Anthony Edwards in him. That's for sure.
No, like I mean, if he had
No.
that, yeah, you said it yourself. If he had what Galen Brown or Anthony Edwards had, yeah, we would be having a completely different
You
conversation.
put the perfect physical, talented NBA player into a machine, and you can make one. Jason Tatum comes out the other side, or something like Jason Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
he's
agree.
the perfect model
Yeah.
of like what you would want. A swingman, 6'8", good size, shoots the ball fucking crazy. He's an awesome shooter, plays defense, whatever. He's just like a solid all the way around. And like, but he just doesn't have. He got a lot of quit in him. Like that's. I mean, it's weird, but like that's the difference. I mean, that's Jordan's difference between being fucking Zach LaVine or Michael Jordan, pretty much.
That you
You
dare
have
do
to
that
fucking
again.
bring it up.
I do it
man.
all the time.
Don't
And
even
they
bring that
hate it.
Levine up.
That must hurt, Will.
Oh, loser. Don't bring that. That hurts,
Yeah,
man.
don't bring that dude's name up.
Don't
Zach
bring his
LaVine
name
is
up,
Michael
man.
Jordan
That
with a lot
hurts,
of quitting.
man.
Zach LaVine is Michael Jordan with like a lot of quitting him, like a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of quit in him. Yes.
All
About
the
a lot of
94
quit
all
in
the
him.
quit.
to 6, like 94 to
All
6.
the quit.
Best dunker.
Seven.
So,
Best dunker.
Let me go to you real quick, Seven. What you thinking? Are we trusting Boston?
No, it's what I talked about earlier with Jason Tatum. He has the third most playoff points in Celtics history, and that's a storied organization.
mhm.
But the difference between Jason Tatum and Larry Bird is a whole lot of dog.
Yeah. For
Yep.
sure.
Is a whole lot of dog. And I'm not saying that Jason Tatum doesn't know the game like Larry Bird does and did. I'm not saying any of that. But that fight isn't there. Larry Bird won half of his matchups at least on mentality alone.
Mhm.
Even though the fact he was a legit mid-range shooter, he was legit at getting into the paint. But
I need you to win.
the difference maker for Larry Bird and for most of these elite guys is that dog, that mentality. And Jason Tatum just doesn't have it.
All-time dog. 1, 2, 3.
I will.
You have
I will.
Jordan Bird. You have Jordan Bird and Kobe. Who's in that
Absolutely.
list,
100%.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what order is that in? That's the weird part. It's like
I
it's
don't.
like,
I mean, can you put it in
oh.
any order?
yeah.
I would legitimately. It's tough for 1 and 2 because I think 1 and 2 you could pretty much interchange Jordan and Bird, and then Kobe's right there at a close third.
Yeah.
I think they're different kind of dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Jordan's that like uncontrollable pit bull that just killed like people probably. You know what I'm saying? Like other dogs a lot. And then like yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then Bird was like the one that yapped a lot, right? Just like yappy dog. And then and then Kobe was just
What you thinking? What you thinking, Ando?
I think it bothers me that the fact the Celtics just played the Cavaliers without the Cavaliers' best player on the floor, and you only win by 7. This,
Yeah.
for me, Boston should have made this the Indiana Pacers against the New York Knicks in Game 4. This should have been a blowout. Now the Cavaliers, granted they're down 3-1, but the Cavaliers are going to go back to Boston with their backs against the wall, knowing, guys, we did not have Donovan Mitchell, and we only lost by 7. Let's go kill these guys. Donovan Mitchell will go get his when he comes back. All Donovan Mitchell has to do is, hey, guys, they don't expect us to come back and win this. And all it takes is that one Game 5 win to go from 3-1 to 3-2. Now the momentum comes back to Cleveland, 3-2 to 3-3, and now they got all that momentum going into Game 7.
Don't do that. There's no
just
fucking
would.
way. There isn't a snowball's chance in fucking hell that the Cavaliers win fucking against.
Oh, I'm not saying they win the series, but I think it is a
Six.
dangerous place. It is a dangerous place for the Celtics to be in right now. When you beat a team without their star player and you win by 7, that is a dangerous place for the Celtics to be.
They're young. They're well oiled. They could probably go 7. I mean, they're not one of those teams that like they can't play a bunch of games, dude. Obviously, I mean, they're those guys are you know what I'm saying, like for real. I think they're all right. Like they're going to win the series regardless. They're going to the Eastern Conference.
It would surprise me if it does go to 7. But like I said, at this point, the Cavaliers are playing with house money.
That's fair.
Interesting to use that term because I put $10 on Cleveland yesterday.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No,
All
remember,
right.
I consider that when
Plus-
Cleveland beat Boston in Game 5.
They're plus
All right, y'all. All right,
1700.
you guys. last game we're going to talk about that's going on right now. We got the Dallas Mavericks beating the OKC Thunder 60-52. Mo, what's your outlook for this series?
I had picked the Mavs in 7. I thought it was going to go 7. I know everybody loves SGA. I'm a big fan of SGA.
Yes.
But what I thought was in this series, I don't know if SGA is out and out the best player because Luka can control the pace of a game like very few players can. And then when Kyrie picks his spots, they're as deadly a duo as you can have in the NBA. Now you're getting help from Washington. Gafford's giving them big moments in the middle. Even there's been a Tim Hardaway Jr. sighting. If they're going to get production from their role players to go along with what Luka and Kyrie can do, like I said, I picked them in 7. But if they win tonight, they've got a stranglehold on this series.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, what you thinking, man?
I agree. I love Luka. It's a weird gameplay thing. Like Mo was saying, like they're with Luka slowing it down. Like they just freak people out, kind of. Like sometimes when you haven't seen it a whole ton, and like Mo, you're talking about blitzing. Like people are still blitzing Luka Doncic. Like, what are you doing? Like he makes the right decision every time. Like it's pretty freakish, dude. Like he makes like jump passes, does little weird shit, like where he'll like get up in the air and be like, "Oh yeah, over here though," and like every pass is perfect.
Facts.
In the shot pocket. Oh my fucking god, dude! He's a beauty to watch. He's one of my favorite.
He's little Joker.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy and like
yep.
Yeah, the way I mean he's kind of scary athletic if you think. Like sometimes he'll show like little flashes, like, "Ooh, okay, Luka," like that. You know, he was just like a young kid. Was he playing in the fucking European League when he was 15 or something like that? Like that dude he's been around for a second, man. He's a vet at this point. Like he's a killer. And like it's so they could take any series, honestly. The Dallas Mavericks could take any series if they get a little bit of fire under their ass. They could definitely take any series, I think, at this point on out. But like, will it happen? Probably not. But like they're gonna have to endure. I don't think Luka's in real great shape. He's always like
leave.
He's always like
Luka alone.
He's always like drinking beers, dude. Like he's always just, like in the beer garden.
You guys hear about the
Luka, bro?
Did you guys hear about the press conference after game 3 game 3 when Luka's answering a question and you just hear someone go
oh
and
yeah, I heard about that.
Luka just stops his interview and goes, I hope that was after the game.
Right. Yeah.
Seven, what you thinking, man?
So, as a Suns fan, I am legally obligated to remind everybody that Luka Doncic is Devin Booker's daddy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
By the states of Arizona courts. Disclaimer.
We talked about this series last week. This series is Dallas's to lose. No disrespect to what they got going on in OKC and what SGA is doing. When I move to Wichita, at some point, I'm gonna get Dan to come down, and we're gonna drive down, and we're gonna go watch
Shockers, baby. The fucking Wichita State Shockers, baby. Woo!
But we're gonna go down to OKC. We're gonna watch a game. Because I definitely want to see SGA play live. But right now, you're like you guys said, Luka controls the pace when he's on the floor. It doesn't even matter if they're winning. Luka still controls the pace of the game. There are not many players throughout the history of the NBA that you can say, no matter what, when they're on the floor, they control the pace. Regardless of what the score is, regardless of who they're playing, they have control. Luka is one of those guys. I'm not betting against that dude. And it's Dallas. Like I said, it's Dallas' series to lose. And SGA right now, 16 points, and they're in the third quarter. SGA, if you want to beat Luka, you gotta have 25 in the first half, bro. At least.
And Josh Giddey has to shoot the ball.
Yeah, and that's just it's not happening as
we need more, and we need more from Chet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
and that's serious. He's young. That's gonna happen.
Let's be fair.
I mean, if you look at it, the whole OKC team is young, and that's something that I said last week that I'm going to admit this series is going to bite me in the ass because I said I think the longer the series goes, I think OKC's youth is going to help them out, I'm going to take a step back on that because the way Luka's playing in this series, It doesn't matter if it goes. I think if it goes to 7, it benefits Dallas now because of the way that Luka is controlling not just the games but the series. But it's going to take with Dallas. I feel like if you can contain, you can't stop Luka, but if you can contain Luka and you can contain Kyrie, you have to have the core players step up. It is not going to be as simple as this guy's going to score as many as Luka. This guy's going to score. It has to be a whole team effort by OKC. And we've seen that in 2 of the 3 games that has not happened. So 7's right. Mo's right. Dan's right. Luka is controlling this series. If Luka controls it, OKC doesn't have a chance. And I think that comes with the naive youngness that the OKC Thunder have. If this Thunder team sticks together 2-3 years down the line, I think you see a much better defensive team to stop Luka. Contain Luka. You can't stop Luka. You can contain him. I think in 2 or 3 years, this defense will be better to contain him.
I agree with that. Look, they're going to be better in 3 years. Chet will be more well-rounded. He'll be stronger. Jalen Williams will be. He's taking a huge leap. He'll be that much better. We forget that core. And I'm talking about their core players. They're 25 and under. After that, like the oldest player of the core is SGA. I want to give a shout out to Jason Kidd because he's doing something that's very smart. He is having them play Josh Giddey for the pass. Yep. And Josh, and that's what Josh Giddey does. He's a great all-around player, but he needs to be more selfish to be effective because Jason Kidd is having everybody shadow him and play him for the pass. He's not looking. He basically got benched last game. He only played 19 minutes because they're getting frustrated with him, his lack of aggressiveness. So I think Jason Kidd's doing a great job.
He's their Draymond Green. Bro. He's their Draymond Green. Pretty much, right? Like minus the dog. So like you take the dog out of Draymond Green,
right? Minus the dog,
and then make him, Australian and weird. That's
all right.
And weird.
All right, you guys. Before we get out of here, I do want to go back to the question I asked earlier. With no KD, no Steph, no Bron, have you enjoyed these NBA playoffs? Mo, I'll start with you.
I have. Look, I'm a Laker fan, and we got put out early. But if you enjoy basketball, I enjoy.
Mo just become best friends. Yep. You want to go do karate in the garage?
Wait. You have to say on 3 who your favorite dinosaur is. No thinking about it. 1, 2, 3. Yep. If you were a lady, who's the one you do? John Stamos. Anyway. So I didn't mean to interrupt, Mo. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I've enjoyed the postseason because I think a lot of these series, aside from the Cleveland one, have been compelling. They've been close. You look at the Knicks and Pacers, it's physical, it's aggressive. That rivalry, it's almost like the rivalry from the early 90s. So I like series with a little bit of nasty to it. So I like that. I'm looking at OKC and Dallas. They don't like each other. The Timberwolves versus the Nuggets, they don't like each other. So I'm enjoying all those series.
Dan, what about you?
Funny how it like later in the playoffs it gets like everybody doesn't like each other. I like it a lot. Like the deeper it goes, the more everybody just makes up shit to fucking not like the other team. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Are you saying that they took it personally? Are you saying that they took it personally?
You should.
Look, they said that they didn't like the jersey that I was wearing, and I took it personally.
Right. Yeah.
What? They said that player on the other team was better than me. I can't have that. I couldn't have that. So I had to take care of him.
I have a confession to make, guys. When the Lakers
hold on. Let me hit the record button. Go ahead.
Breaking news. No, see, what were I to say? No, I'm sorry. I stopped watching the playoffs. I just look at scores, box scores at this point after the Lakers got eliminated. So that's all right.
I think it's funny that all of a sudden these Lakers fans give a damn about what the Minnesota Timberwolves do. They hadn't said a damn thing about the Timberwolves all year.
So that's refreshing to you, then, Will. Like I'm just not. I don't care. I'm like.
What's his name?
Whatever happens, whatever. What's his name?
I can't remember his name. But both. I think we both commented on his post, Mo. He was up there saying he doesn't like Jamal Murray talking like that. What is Jamal Murray supposed to say?
Right. Right.
What is he supposed to say?
They just
and let's be fair. I love everything about Anthony Edwards, but Ant talks a lot too.
Yeah.
He gets up in people's faces. He tells you what he's gonna do, and I'm here for it. I love all of that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Tyrese Halliburton might be up there with those guys in best trash talker, by the way. So Halliburton's a good one. He's fucking really good.
To all the people that comment on the trash talking, oh, we're professionals. You want to know what one of the things that makes WWE and AEW and the professional wrestling so good is the promos that they cut and the shit talking that they do.
Yep.
I will watch, like, one of my favorite wrestlers to watch cut a promo is CM Punk. That dude can't do shit in the ring, but you hand that dude a microphone and he can keep an arena of 25,000 people entertained for half an hour. He's done it multiple times. But you want to talk to me about professionalism? This is competition.
Yeah.
It's professional sports. These guys make $1 million a year. I would love to see Luka look somebody in the eye and tell him to go fuck a goat. Like I would personally laugh my ass off if that happened. But you'd have these nutsacks in the corner like, oh, professional. Go fuck yourself.
Conspiracy theory minute.
You say that because I can see Luka at a press conference. Yeah, this person said this about you. Yeah, go fuck a goat. Go fuck a goat.
Dude,
yeah.
Adam Silver's doing that right now. He's trying to do that. Like he's trying to make it a entertainment, but you have real results. That's the best part. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not saying wrestling's not real. I'm saying like there's actual.
It's
like,
real to me, Dan.
Play it out like on the field where it's not at all. It's like you can't determine it. Like there's no predicting it. It's just like it's the game. Obviously, they play. You play to win the game. No,
agreed.
Like,
dude, and I'm on board with Seven, man. At a younger age, you want to build that sportsmanship up. You want to shake hands. Oh man, okay, I consult your teammate. But at the same time, I mean, this is the top level that we are talking about in professional sports.
Right.
Fucking nut up, man. For fuck's sakes, man, nut up. If you're tired of getting your ass kicked, or you're tired of, I'm tired of getting beat, fucking get better, dude. Just fuck.
These guys aren't accountants from Illinois going to like seminars and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, Iowa. Accountants from Iowa.
Before we got here, guys, someone just sent me this on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you hear what Brian Windhorst has been saying?
Brian Windhorst?
Yep. So Brian Windhorst has been reporting that teams are going to try to leverage drafting Bronny.
Sure.
As a ploy to get LeBron.
Sure.
Why do you think Bron entered into the draft? He's not stupid.
Yeah,
why do you think LeBron hasn't signed a contract?
Okay. So
He's
with Atlanta having the first pick, are they stupid enough to go after Bronny in hopes that they get LeBron?
Absolutely.
They'll do it.
What our colleague John thinks, LeBron is really smart.
Yeah.
He's really, really smart. Like he knows what he's. He's 6 moves ahead of everybody. Like, it's all about his career to him, legacy wise. So that's why would you not? That's what it is. It's WWE.
It's
real results.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
He looks good, man. Will, he looks good, bro. That fucking, what is that? Yellow and red. He looks good in the yellow and red.
You better take that down. That makes me.
He's not going. He's not. I know. I don't know where he'll end up. He's not going to Atlanta. I can guarantee you that Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, through some kind of back channels, are telling the teams that they don't want to go to that don't bother, don't do it. You know they are.
Well, here's the thing: LeBron James will sign with the Phoenix Suns and play with KD and Devin Booker before he will go to the fucking Hawks. Bradley Beal will still be the point guard. That's how
he'd be the biggest veteran pickup since Vince Carter down there.
No. The Suns, are you kidding? If the Suns had LeBron's running point. You don't have to worry about Bradley Beal playing.
For sure, Bron will run a point. For sure, Bron will run a point. For sure.
That's what he always has run. Right?
For sure.
I do have a bit of football news. If you don't mind me just real briefly saying it.
Go ahead.
I'm sure Seven saw it already. They announced Thursday Night Football to kick off the NFL season. Arrowhead will be rocking against the Ravens to open up the NFL season, which, fuck yeah. Fuck you, Lamar. Go Chiefs. Let's go.
They actually named the game the coronation of the actual America's team. They named that. The coronation of the actual America's team.
It's funny you say that because Fox announced their first game of the week 1, that Tom Brady will be broadcasting.
Oh wow.
Dallas at Cleveland.
I would say Browns and Cowboys.
Browns and Cowboys.
Hey, but Mo, I want to say thank you for coming through, my friend. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys having me.
You're
I
more-
enjoyed it, guys. So
You're more than welcome to come on this show anytime, my friend.
I
Anytime.
appreciate it. Had a blast, guys.
You can replace Will anytime you want.
Whoa, no, wow. We're not replacing the final boss, bro.
I was gonna say John. He's not here to defend himself, but maybe we talked about maybe
Whatever
replacing
happens, do not
John
replace
with Mo.
Zoe. We need Zoe. Do not replace Zoe.
Yeah, so we do. Who's that?
Zamora.
Zamora.
We
Oh,
can't
yeah,
really-
for
it
sure.
should be. Oh, and
Well,
Zamora texted me today. He said she wants to come back next week.
Hell yeah. Bring her on, dude.
Man, how the hell are you going to do this shit while I'm supposed to be on leave? Like, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Okay,
Go
cool.
away.
So it's
Go away.
official. It's
Remind
official.
Zamora.
Zamora.
We need a space. We need an open space.
Zamora is replacing 7. Is that what I'm hearing?
God, we need an open space. We need an open space.
This is not the first time I've been
We need
replaced by a
Zamora.
hot black woman. It's only going to get worse from here. Well, so really quick,
Just admit that you're under her, and we'll
They
be
have a
perfect.
lot of.
I would love to be under her.
Oh, no.
Dude, you left that open like a fucking softball to an
Yeah.
MLB
He
player.
does it all
Yeah,
the
he
time.
did. Yeah,
Come on,
he
he
did.
sets us up.
Dude, look who you're talking to, man. Look
Let's
who you're talking to.
make sure to mention to Zamora next week that my prediction a month before the end of the season that they were going to have to nuke that Suns roster
Mhm.
is now a reality.
I remind
Because
her.
I said it was coming, and even she was like, "Man, there's no way." I told y'all it was coming.
I can see
I'll
James Jones
remind her.
making that.
I remind her.
James Jones making that LeBron James trade. You just literally trade
Damn.
everybody. You trade everybody besides. Listen, now hear me out. Everybody besides Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. You trade everybody on the team. Give them the fucking water boys. Give them the fucking coaching staff. And then all of your picks for the next 3 years.
They don't have
Right?
any.
They don't have any picks.
You start 4 guys. Okay. You go 48 minutes. All of them.
Damn. All right, you guys. I
If
wanna
I'm
say
the
thank-
GM,
All right, you guys. I want to say thank you for everybody coming through tonight. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for everybody there in TV land. We appreciate you. And we'll see you again next week right here on the Sports Report Podcast. Everybody have a great week and take care.
you start
Have a good night,
fucking
everybody.
Cameron Payne
Fuck Rob, man.
at the 5th spot. Cameron Payne. Not going to
Cameron
touch the
Payne.
ball. Not gonna